Hello and welcome back to your English class. Thank you very much for joining the class today. Today we are going to talk about the quantifiers. Vamos a hablar de los cuantificadores, all right? Very important because there's a lot of confusion out there with the use of these quantifiers because many students don't know when to use it. If it's used in affirmative, if they are used in affirmative or negative or interrogative form. And something important too, when we use these quantifiers, cuando usamos estos cuantificadores, it's important to know the noun that we use with it, el nombre o sustantivo que usamos con ella, right? The noun, or whether the noun is countable, si el nombre es contable, count or countable, or non-count, or uncountable nouns, pueden ser con nombres contables o nombres incontables. All right, that's determinant, with the use of the quantifiers. Because look, in the translation, let's get to the point. In the translation here we have, for example, some is algo de. So that gives you an idea immediately that this is used, que es usado con, it is used with non-count nouns, con nombres incontables, like some water, some sugar, some milk, un poco de agua, un poco de azúcar, leche, cosas incontables. But it's also used with count noun, singular or plural. So it can be algún o alguna, right? Like some crazy idea, for example, alguna idea loca, right? She has some crazy idea, or he has some crazy idea, él tiene alguna idea loca. So when you use it like that is when you are, you're not specifying the noun, but it's singular, right? It countable, singular. But it can also be used, también puede ser usado, it can also be used in the plural. So you can say some friends. I have some friends in the city. I think I have that example here. I have some apples to give to the children, right? Some presents, algunos regalos, right? So you can use it in the affirmative form with the count noun plural or plural count nouns, or uncountable or non-count. So you can use it with both in the affirmative form. Okay. Now I will tell you a little secret later about the use of some. It can be used in question, but in very special question, very special occasion. Okay, so let's continue with many. You see, when you see many, in the translation you say muchos, muchas, you know immediately that this is used in plural, right? With plural count nouns, nombre contable plural, all the time. And look, it can be used in affirmative, it also in negative form, because you see it appears there, here, it appears here too. It can be used in question, as you can see, but it's always muchos o muchas, right? It's always plural, okay? That's the use of many. Now look, few, pocos o pocas. I told you, le dije, viendo la traducción, usted se da cuenta si es con sustantivo contable o incontable. Pocos o pocas, evidentemente, sustantivos contable plural, right? So I have few friends. I have few apples. Few oranges, pocas naranjas. It has a negative connotation, but it's used in affirmative form. You say, I have few. Tengo pocas. It gives you the idea that it has a negative connotation. But the grammatical use of it is affirmative. And the same with a few, but look at a few. The translation is different, it's a little different, right? So while here, mientras que aquí es pocos o pocas, aquí es unos pocos o unas pocas, right? Puede ser también unas cuantas o unos cuantos. It can be the translation here. Little, poco o poca, incontable, right? I have little time. Tengo poco tiempo. I have very little time. Usually you can use that modifier, like very little time, right? Muy poco tiempo. Little milk. There is little milk for the baby. Hay poca leche, right? Para el bebé. So it's uncountable, right? In the affirmative form. All right. Now, when you say a little, un poco or un poquito, when you say a little bit, I put it in the parentheses here, in the parentheses because it's optional. But if you want to emphasize, this is very little, then you say a little bit. Like a lot of people answer, for example, when they are asked if they speak English, and they say, oh, a little bit. But you can also say a little. I speak no. But soon you will be able to say, I speak a lot of English. And that leads to, after plenty, to a lot of. Now let's continue with plenty of. You can say plenty of or plenty of, right? And you see the of is in the parentheses because you use it if you mention, when you mention the noun, you say she has plenty of clothes, she has plenty of things to do, ella tiene muchas ropa, algo abundante, that's plenty of. Plenty or plenty, usually the American pronunciation is plenty of, but it's optional, not optional, but you use of. You see, if you specify the noun, right? Because you can ask me, do you have a lot of friends? Then I can say, yes, I have plenty. I have plenty. You see, I'm not using of in that case because it's already understood what we are talking about. We're talking about friends, so I don't have to repeat. Yes, I have plenty of friends. So if you say I have plenty, that's it. It's understood. So you don't use of in that case. And it's mucho, mucha, muchos, muchas. As you can see, plenty of can be used with count nouns or non-count nouns, right? If it's count noun, it's plural, okay? Non-count noun, of course, is cosas no contables, right? Plenty of whatever. Mucho de cualquier cosa, en abundancia, that's plenty of, plenty of. A lot of and lots of, they mean the same, significa lo mismo. I have a lot of things to do. Tengo muchas cosas que hacer. Yeah, I have a lot. I really have a lot of things to do. I have lots of things to do. Un montón de cosas. So mucho o muchos o mucha o muchas. So it can be uncountable or non-count, or it can be countable or count nouns. Puede ser con nombres contables o incontables. El uso de a lot of or lots of significa lo mismo. It means the same, right? That's with regards to the use of these in the affirmative form. You're going to see now any that is nada de, that's to emphasize in the negative form. So I don't have any money, no tengo nada de dinero, right? Ningún o ninguna, there aren't any people at the meeting, no hay nadie, ninguna gente, right? There aren't any people at the meeting. So ningún o ninguna. There aren't any doors in this apartment. Well, there aren't any windows, I would say. No hay ninguna ventana, right? So it can be used with non-count nouns, con cosas no contables en la forma negativa para enfatizar que es nada, right? But it can be also used with count noun in the plural. Okay, so you can say there aren't any flowers. No hay ninguna flor aquí. No hay flores, right? Any. So there you go. Both count nouns and non-count nouns. That's any. Many, again, I think I told you about many. It can be used in affirmative and also in the negative form and interrogative form. Appears everywhere, aparece en todo lugar. Now the use of much, which is, look at the translation, mucho, mucha. Obviously, it is non-count, con cosas no contables, right? But the use of much, look, is used in negative. And it's used in question. You don't use much in affirmative sentences, all right? You don't use it in the affirmative sentences, just in the negative sentences and also in question, okay? But it's mucho o mucha con sustantivos incontables, obviamente. La traducción lo revela. And the use of lots and lots of, right? I mean, or a lot of or lots of, can be lots of and a lot of has no limitations. You can use it in the affirmative form, negative form, or interrogative form. You see, it appears everywhere. Mucho, mucha, muchos, or muchas, right? That's the way that lots of or a lot of is used, you know. Now let's continue with the question. You see, any in question, you see, you saw that in the negative form it means nada de. Vemos que en la forma negativa es nada de, pero en pregunta es algo de, un poco de. Do you have any money? ¿Tiene algo de dinero? You see, in that case is algo de in question. But if you say, I don't have any money, no tengo nada de dinero. So it depends, all right? If it's negative, it's nada de, o ningún o ninguna. If it's interrogative, then it's algo de o alguno, algunos o algunas, right? Yeah. So I can ask you, do you have any chairs, you know, for us to sit down? ¿Tiene algunas sillas para nosotros sentarnos? So in question, right, is algunos o algunas. And in negative is ningún o ninguna. So you see, it's important to specify, you know, when to use it. Negative or question, but with different meaning, pero con significado diferente, with different meaning. That's important. So there, I told you already about many. Ya le dije sobre many. It's always plural, and it can be used in the three forms, in the negative, affirmative, negative, or interrogative form, muchos or muchas, and much. I told you about that too. It can be used in negative, right there, you know, mucho, mucha in the negative form, or that in question. Do you have much? Is there much? Is there much milk in the refrigerator? ¿Hay mucha leche en el refrigerador? There isn't much. There isn't much milk. No hay mucha, right? So negative or interrogative. We don't use, you know, much in the affirmative form. You don't see it there. Lots of, I told you about it. You know, it can be used in any way, affirmative, negative, or interrogative. Now, look, I have here, and that's the secret that I told you about at the beginning, the use of some. Some, I told you, is used in affirmative form, right? With this meaning, algo de, alguna, alguna, o algún, o algunos, o algunas. But also in question only when you are offering or asking for something. Cuando usted está pidiendo algo u ofreciendo algo, entonces se puede usar en forma interrogativa. Eso es una excepción, una nota, ¿ok? You can use some in questions when asking or offering. Okay, that's the only way in which you can use some in a question. I have two examples over here. Can you give me some water? Can you give me some water? Ahí está pidiendo. ¿Puede darme un poco de agua? In that case, it is acceptable to use some in question. Or, would you like some ice cream? Ahí está ofreciendo. ¿Te gustaría un poco de helado? Would you like some ice cream? So these are the two exceptions in which we use some in question. When you are asking for something or when you are offering something. All right. So are you following me, people? Very good. Now, look at these two. Another note, the second note that I have here is the use of any. I told you that any is used in negative sentences, right? Negative sentences right here, or in questions. It is not used in the affirmative form, but it can be used in affirmative exceptionally. Puede ser usado excepcionalmente en afirmación, pero con otro significado. ¿Cuál es el significado? Cualquier o cualquiera. En ese caso se puede usar de manera, en ese solo caso se puede usar en forma afirmativa. For example, you can say, you can take any seat. Puede tomar cualquier asiento. ahí está afirmando, pero tiene otro significado. It has another meaning, okay? So very, very, very particular. Or she may drive any of the cars. Ella puede conducir, tiene el permiso de conducir cualquiera de los carros, right? So when it's used in affirmative, it has a different meaning. Tiene un significado diferente. So if you're still watching, please, I would like you to pause the video, and subscribe to the channel. I really need your subscription. And if this video, if this class is contributing, to your English, so I will encourage you to do that. I really appreciate that. We continue here with this exercise. Let's see, vamos a ver how to use these. Let me tell you that in this exercise, you can have multiple choices. Pueden tener varias opciones, múltiples opciones. For example, here, and the instruction is, la instrucción es, use the suitable quantifier in the blanks. Use el cuantificador idóneo en los espacios en blanco. Consider the count noun or non-count nouns, right? Considere los nombres contables o no contables. So we have, for example, here, friends. I'm going to underline, voy a subrayar el nombre. I'm going to underline the noun. Friends. Friends is count noun plural. And the sentence is affirmative. So let's go to the affirmative form. So I can say, I have some friends in the city. It is correct. But I can also say, I have many friends in the city. Or I have a few friends in the city. Or I have plenty of friends in the city. So you can see that you can use, multiple form over here in the affirmative form, as long as, siempre y cuando sea contable plural, right? Aunque también se usan algunos de ellos con cosas incontables como algo de, son el mismo son, o a little, poco de, right? Las otras es plural. Plenty of puede ser contable y plural, right? Contable siempre plural. O incontable, right? So you have multiple alternatives or choices here. Now, there isn't is negative. No hay. There isn't. Then we have money. Money left in the bank. There isn't, that's negative. Then you can say in the negative form, there isn't any money. There isn't any money left in the bank. Left es cuando queda algo. No queda. So there isn't, oh, I didn't complete this one. So here I can say some friends, a few friends, many friends. But here there isn't any money left. No queda nada de dinero en el banco, right? There isn't any money left in the bank. Very good. Okay, so let me see. There is another option. Oh, you can also say much. There isn't much money. You see? So you have another choice. There isn't any money, or there isn't much money, or there isn't a lot of money. You can also use, a lot of, or lots of money. So you have multiple choices there too with money, because money is uncountable. Now Susan needs, Susan necesita. Then we have here olive oil, aceite de oliva para la ensalada. Susan needs, this is affirmative. Olive oil is uncountable. Aceite de oliva, incontable, is affirmative. Then un poco de, algo de. So Susan needs some olive oil, or she needs a little olive oil, right? Is uncountable, remember, or she needs plenty of, right? It's very unlikely that she needs plenty, but the suitable option will be a little bit or a little olive oil, or some olive oil, right? So you can say here, she needs a little, right? She needs a little She needs a little olive oil for the salad. Necesita un poco de aceite de oliva para la ensalada. Now look at this one. Dad doesn't take. Papá no toma mucha azúcar con su café. So, negative, doesn't take. Sugar, incontable, right? Sugar. So, if it's negative, then we can use one of these. Dad doesn't take much sugar with his coffee. Or Dad doesn't take any sugar with his coffee. Or Dad doesn't take a lot of sugar with his coffee. Él no toma mucha azúcar o él no toma nada de azúcar con su café, right? So you have these options over there. So you can say, Dad doesn't take much sugar or any. Yes, or any. Nada de azúcar, right? Dad doesn't take much sugar with his coffee or doesn't take any sugar with his coffee. Now, there aren't, no hay, people in the streets today. Gente. Gente is plural. So we say, there aren't many people, right? This is negative, right? There aren't many people. There aren't any people in the street. There aren't a lot of people or lots of people in the street. So all of these options are possible. Any, many, a lot of, not much, because much, entonces no uso much, hay much, porque es con cosas incontables, right? Entonces, people is plural. So the options are any, right? There aren't any people, or there aren't a lot of people, or many people. It is possible to say many too, right? Or a lot of people, right? In the streets today. No hay mucha gente en la calle hoy. You have, affirmative, to finish the project. Time, tiempo, que es incontable, right? El concepto, tiempo. So you have, that's affirmative. You have some time to finish the project. Tú tienes un poco de tiempo. Or you have little time, tiene poco tiempo. Or you have plenty of time. Todas esas se pueden usar siempre y cuando sea incontable, afirmando. You see? You have little time, tienes poco tiempo. You have little time to finish the project, para terminar el proyecto. Let's continue here. Maybe she has, quizá ella tiene algún motivo. Maybe she has, that's affirmative. Then we say algún, some, right? Some motive. Maybe she has some motive to say that. Ella tiene algún motivo para decir eso. Now, is there, que si hay reason, razón, why she said that? ¿Por qué ella dijo eso? Is there, then we say, for a question, right? Alguna razón, es para preguntar, usamos any para preguntar. Is there any reason? Is there any reason why she said that? ¿Hay alguna razón por la cual ella dijo eso? Yes, there is. Yeah, she has a reason for that. Okay, so is there any reason why she said that? Is question and is, right? Algún o alguna. It is only one, singular, one reason, right? But is unidentified. It's indefinite. It's unidentified. Is there any reason why you say that? Now, can you pass me? It's a question. It's asking for something. So, asking like, can you give me some water? Now here, can you pass me some salt? Puede pasarme un poco de sal. Can you pass me some salt, please? So, there we go. The use of some in asking for something. And also the following is offering. Would you eat? ¿Te comerías tú? Would you eat some of my pie? Un poco de mi pastel, right? So here, salt, sal es incontable, some salt. Can you pass me some salt? And here, pie, pastel, right? Pastel, right? Let me put it in black, in red, pastel. Would you eat some of my pie? Te comería un poco de mi pastel. Would you eat some of my pie? It's delicious. Está delicioso. It's delicious. And finally, you have here, are there? Are there is question, una pregunta. Are there? Now the noun is emails. El nombre es emails. Emails unread. Emails no leídos, right? Are there? Para preguntar, right? Para preguntar por cosas contable plural. Any, right? Are there any emails unread? O podría ser many, right? O podría ser a lot of. Are there a lot of emails unread? Are there many emails unread? Are there any emails unread? So you can use, in question, any, many, and a lot of or lots of, but with plural count nouns, con nombre contable plural. Aunque a lot of y lots of puede usarse con cosas incontables. Ahora, much con cosas incontables. Yo te podría decir, is there much ice cream, for the dessert, para el postre? Is there much sugar? Is there much butter for the sandwiches? Hay mucha mantequilla para los sándwiches. So, con cosas incontables, much, right? In question. But remember that much is used mainly in negative form and in question, never in affirmative sentences. So here then we can say, are there many, or are there any emails unread, or are there a lot of emails unread? So my dear friends, as you can see, that is the use of the quantifiers. That's the way we use the quantifiers. You can feel confident in using the quantifiers this way. Well, this is the end of this lesson, but we will continue with much more. Thank you very much, and I will see you next class.